Hi, I'm Kristen King from the Investing Channel, and you're watching Smart Money, the show that gives you the inside edge on the bets that the movers and shakers on Wall Street are placing. This week on Smart Money, we're looking at a sector that in recent times has been buffeted by natural disasters, accidents, global politics and conflict, volatile commodity prices, a pandemic, and the ire of the climate change lobby. But despite those and other continuing challenges, it remains a crucial mainstay of the global economy. If you hadn't guessed already, that industry is oil and gas exploration and production. The company we're looking at today is at the cutting edge of offshore exploration, and it can trace its heritage back almost 100 years to when founder T.S. Stoneman bought his first drilling rig in 1926. From those humble beginnings, it's grown into a multi-billion-dollar company that operates in almost every corner of the globe, running a fleet comprising of 37 mobile offshore drilling rigs, 27 ultra-deepwater floating rigs, and 10 harsh environment floating rigs. The company is Transocean Inc., which trades under the ticker RIG, and it describes itself as a leading international provider of offshore contract drilling services for oil and gas wells. It specializes in the technically demanding sectors of the global offshore drilling business, with a particular focus on ultra-deepwater and harsh environment drilling services, and it operates one of the most versatile offshore drilling fleets in the world. Its services are in high demand right now, and it has an order book or backlog of work worth around $7.4 billion. Transocean doesn't drill for itself. Instead, as a support services company, it hires out its drilling expertise and equipment to oil majors, both private and state-owned. The level of production and investment in the oil and gas industry is, of course, driven by the underlying price of oil, which itself is driven by expectations about current and future demand for oil and economic growth. After a very tough year in 2020, oil prices and demand are in something of a sweet spot as economies reopen and bounce back sharply. Wall Street analysts have suggested that oil prices could reach $100 per barrel before year-end. Quite a contrast to just over a year ago when WTI crude oil futures traded deep into negative territory as traders scrambled to avoid taking delivery. Transocean has known tough times before, and the firm was nearly bankrupted during the Deepwater Horizon disaster, where 11 of its workers were killed in a devastating explosion at a drilling site in the Gulf of Mexico in 2010. The company's share price still bears the scars of those events, and even now are trading down by 93% over a 10-year time frame. However, the tide may be turning. Transocean's biggest individual shareholder is Norwegian billionaire Frederick W. Mohn, who has been director of Transocean since 2018 when the company bought out his business Songa Offshore for $1.1 billion. Mr. Mohn holds his stake in Transocean through a vehicle called Perestroika AS, and in September last year, it seemed as though he was selling out, as Perestroika filed documents with the SEC which signaled its intention to sell as many as 67 million Transocean shares. And though Mr. Mohn and Perestroika did sell down their holdings, they didn't cash out completely, and more recently, they have been buying the stock again. Over the last couple of weeks, Perestroika has purchased 9.9 million shares at an average price of $4.10 for a consideration of $40.67 million. This is the second time that the billionaire investor has bought Transocean stock in 2021, having previously acquired 2 million shares in early March. Mr. Mohn is his own man and a natural trader and dealmaker with no strict allegiance to Transocean or any other company. So if he is buying, then we should be taking note. And it looks like Wall Street already is, as the stock has risen 27.96% over the last 3 months and is up by almost 17% in the last week. In the last quarter, the share price has posted a new high on 12 separate occasions. That's an average of once every week. Transocean is currently trading at $4.53, just below its year-to-date high of $4.81. However, the 2-year high is way up at $7.28, and the 3-year peak is at $14.47. We can't be certain that any of those upside targets can be attained, but given the economic background and who's been buying the stock, we should at least be watching the name very closely from here on in. That's all we have time for today. Please make sure you do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions.